What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. Today on Instagram Live, I coined the term, something new. Well, it was not Instagram Live, it was on Instagram. I put up a post, and it was about this post that I saw. It said, you versus you. And I looked at that, I said, that's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard, you versus you, and I'll explain why. So the term that I coined was, competition is the fourth macro. And we're going to get into why I coined that today. And it wasn't until I wrote it and I looked at it, I said, that's actually pretty fucking cool. So this whole you versus you thing, and now as a trainer, I understand this because a lot of coaches tell their clients this because their clients are not ready to go on stage and compete. You know, they're not going to be competitive. They're probably 10 weeks out, you know, the way they look from when they are on stage. Or maybe they don't have the genetic structure or whatever the case may be, but their goal is just to get to the stage. And they do the you versus you thing, right? And all along, these coaches are pumping people's heads up full of like, you're going to crush, you're going to slay, you're going to fucking kill, you're going to do it, you're going to turn pro your first fucking try. And they keep taking the money from them and dieting them down. And they get closer to the show. And then all of a sudden it changes to, really it's not about whether you win or lose, it's you versus you. If you could be a better you, like they've never done a show before, what the fuck? Of course, it's gonna be a better them. If you're a better you than you were before, then you've already won, right? And that mindset from that individual, that it doesn't leave at the stage, it doesn't stop there. So they go into the gym and they continue to compete you versus you. Now here's the problem I have with that. I used to have that mentality when I was younger, the you versus you, and it's a very positive affirmation way to look at things, right? It's not negative. However, you can outsmart yourself all the time. So if it's only you competing against you, you never truly win. And what I mean by that is you can rationalize shit that you're doing based on the fact that you're not going to be comparing yourself to someone else. It's just you. So if you do like one rep more in an exercise today, right, than you did yesterday, but every other exercise fucking fails miserably and you're way under reps, the fucking weight goes down, but you did one rep more on a curl with the same weight, you versus you, wow, I beat my best from last time, like I'm doing good. It's like, no, you're losing muscle like fucking crazy. You just happen to get one more fucking rep because you probably cheated the fuck out of it to get it up. But everything else is saying that you're losing muscle and you're failing at what you're doing. But you're you versus you because you had that one fucking rep. All of a sudden, it's a win. That's not how that shit works. You know, like it's just not. And many people can rationalize just about anything so that they make it feel like a win. So it turns into this like more of a not really giving it your all, not really you doing your best, not giving it everything you have to try to improve and see how far you can push yourself to learn what you're actually made of, how tough you are, how tough you're not, whatever the case may be, what your mentality is going into this, how you can sustain that output, you know, like day after day after day to see, you know, it's like boot camp. You learn in boot camp that you can take so much more. I've never been in boot camp, but you can take so much more than you actually think you do. However, with the you versus you mentality, you never have to get to that point. All you have to do is just rationalize in your head that you're doing better. And since it's just you in the gym, you versus you, like you can literally tell yourself, oh no, I'm doing better, even though you're not. Like you lie to yourself, you become delusional, you rationalize stuff. It's just the biggest cop-out bullshit that I've ever heard. Now I get the concept is sound, but that's not how it usually works. Now for me, I was you versus you and I wasn't really doing well, guys. I wasn't, you know, I was listening to my parents say, well, you're doing better than you were. Oh, okay, they're like you versus you, I'm doing better than I was. Like, oh yeah, you know, okay, great, this is great. But I wasn't where I wanted to be. Like I wasn't doing well with the bodybuilding thing early on. And once I learned to kind of harness the shit that was around me and not let the things that were being said to me from other people hurt me, that's when I started to change and I started to really make gains and really be better than I was. And it comes from that negative reinforcement from me against the world, right? It's not you against you, it's you against that fucking world. Matter of fact, today when I got on Instagram, there was an individual who said something like, well, Jerry, what happens when there's no one left to compete against? Then it has to be just you versus you. And I'm like, well, that's a cocky as fuck statement. But I put up another post, right, to prove my point. I put up another post, a picture of him, his best picture on Instagram. I put up one of my okay pictures. It's not my best condition, but whatever. I said, this is what the type of individual looks like in his best picture on his whole Instagram of you versus you. And this is you versus the world. That's me versus other people that I wanted to beat. It was me versus the people I lost to the year before, hoping they're going to compete again. Me versus whoever the fuck shows up. Me versus whoever's in the gym I'm trying to be better than. And I produced a much better physique than he did. And my goal from that whole post was to make this individual think for 1 second, and I wasn't dogging him, I wasn't fucking with him. I was literally explaining to him, this is how far you've gotten with your system, this is how far I've gotten with my system, and I'll be able to replicate this because he's a trainer. I mean, I'm able to replicate this with my clients, right? So if I'm able to replicate this and I'm way ahead of what you did, like maybe your frame of mind should change rather than just be complacent with you versus you and just being half-assed than what you could be if you did more, if you did fucking what you're really capable of, right? So the whole goal was to put this up, which would probably, he would read it and be like, well, I'm going to prove him wrong. Like, he thinks I'm not as good as him. I'm going to prove him wrong. He will immediately be him against me. It will no longer be him against him. You against you. It goes right out the window. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, for these people to say you against you, it's a cop-out to escape the fact that you're really secretly competing against other people. And even if you don't know it, someone says something, gets stuck in your head, you let it go, you're still competing against that thought, that negative thought, or whatever it is, trying to keep you down. There's a whole world out there that wants to see you fail. There's very few people that want to see you succeed compared to the people that want to see you fail. So that's how easy it is for you against the world, because that is the majority of what's going on. You against you is fine if you just never really want to achieve what you possibly can. If you never want to be the best you can ever be, then just be you against you, because there's someone better out there, and I know it. And when I know there's that person that's better, I'm trying to beat that person. So this person is so much better than me that I won't even come close to him, but I'm going to be better than I ever would have been if I never even knew that motherfucker existed. So you against the world is the attitude. Rich Piana, him against the world. You know what I mean? Like Dorian Yates, it was him in his dungeon. He was coming here to compete against those other guys. It wasn't Dorian against Dorian. It was Dorian against the other motherfuckers in the world. Like, that's how that works, right? So I try to explain during the post that competition for me became the fourth macro. Like, I eat that shit and use it for energy, so it now is the fourth macro. And what I mean by that is, I've told the story before about Jill Mendoza. I ran into her like when I was about 18 or 19 or maybe 18, because I hadn't really gotten big yet. And I wasn't until 19 that I was pretty big. I was over 200 pounds at 19, and I was wearing my T. Michael sweatshirt. It was really baggy. Had the guy on the front, the crazy colors. She was working at a gas station, and she said, what are you wearing? And I was like, oh, it's my sweatshirt, my T. Michael. Like, I'm a bodybuilder. And she just laughed in my face right there and said, you're not a bodybuilder. You'll never be a bodybuilder. Like, you don't have the frame for it. You don't have the genetics. Like, you don't have the body for it. You'll never be a bodybuilder. And I got so upset, and I took that to heart so much that I would go to the gym day after day. And even like last time I competed, I was in the gym, even though I haven't seen her in like 30 years. And I've accomplished more than she ever thought I was going to accomplish. And then when the sets got hard and I was trying to grind out those last couple reps, I'd be like, Jill, fuck, Jill. I would fucking still say her name. I would use that fuel, right? They fed you a negative thing, and all that was a piece of coal, this negative little black piece of coal. And I take that and I throw it right in the fucking fire, which is in my gullet, and I fucking use that shit for energy for all it's worth. Like, negative reinforcement for me is what I need, right? Which, this is not negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement, people saying, you're not good enough, Joe. You have to be better. You have to be better. You have to be better. That works well for me, right? And I found that because people were on the outside attacking. I noticed the more they attacked, the more I could push myself. The more I wanted to prove them wrong. And every single person out there who has that you versus you cop-out bullshit excuse at some time or another has had something else in their head that someone else put there that drove them to be better than they normally would if they had never heard that. So to say you against you is really how it should be, it's like, look, you against you is okay, but you're only going to get so far. You know what I mean? If you want to be those people that excel at work, you excel with your family, you excel with whatever, it's you against the world. It's you against everything else outside, external forces trying to stop you. When, I started the supplement company, there were people automatically that wanted to shut that shit down. They didn't want it to happen. They pushed from the get-go. They pushed. And all I did was take those words and take that energy and take those fucking negative things and whatever the fuck they said, and they were competition to me, right? Because now when you're coming at me, you're now my competition. We're going to go head to head, and somebody's coming out on top and somebody's not. And I don't know how you would score who came out on top, because I don't know how to do that. But the bottom line is I'm still here, and I'm still fucking growing, and my business is still growing, and I'm still fucking doing better day after day after day. So therefore, I am moving ahead further and faster. We've grown the company 4 times bigger than it was when we started it. And we have been profitable since the first fucking month that we launched. That shit is not normal, but the drive and determination that came from that was me being excited, because the external force originally was Rich Piana to start this. But those negative external sources that were coming at me, that was the competition. That shit was the fourth macro. I loaded up on those fucking fourth macros and fucking moved forward. And here we are today saying, like, look, we got Primazine that's ready to drop. Our pre-workout, which is going to change fucking everything. People are losing their fucking minds over some of the products because they can't get them because we sell out. All that shit happened after those individuals attacked me. It's like gremlins, you know, when they put the water on them, they fucking multiply. Don't feed them after midnight. You come at me, you're dumping water on me, and you're feeding me after midnight. I'm going to turn into the biggest, baddest motherfucker gremlin, shooting gremlins out of my ass left and right because you came and you pushed the fucking button that started me on the track. It's the train on the track. When that train's on the track, it's fucking going forward. It's not going sideways. It's not going backwards. It's fucking moving forward. You can either get on board the train or get run over by that motherfucker. And that comes from you against the world mentality. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out there and be mad at the world. But what I'm trying to explain to you is there's somebody out there right now and they want to stop you. They want to stop you from getting that job at work, which is going to provide better for your family. They're trying to do anything they can to stop you from getting to where they are or where they want to be, or they want to stop you so they can leapfrog over you. There's something always trying to hold you back or push you back. That shit right there is your competition. Those are the people that are afraid that you're going to beat them in whatever the fuck you're doing. You're going to do better than them, or you're at least going to get some of the attention. Let's say you're not beating them or you're doing better than them, but you're going to get the attention that they want. You are the competition to them. They are your competition. You take that shit and fucking use that as fuel, they're not going to fucking stop you. There's no fucking way. They're going to fizzle out before you will because they're going to keep feeding it to you. You keep fucking eating it. By the time they run out, you're fucking still going with what they fed you. You fucking steamroll those motherfuckers and keep going. So hopefully this makes a little bit of sense to some people out there. I know a lot of people, well, no, Jerry, you against you. I get it. There's going to be people that fucking feel one way or the other or even in the middle. But I'm telling you right now what I've seen over and over again that works for me, works for other people that I know that are successful, works for other people that I know have pushed themselves to limits where they never thought they would go. Do it in an external source. And guess this, you're not doing it for them, right? It's not because you care what they think. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because you question yourself. Everyone, if you say you don't question yourself, you lie. You're a fucking liar. Everyone questions themselves. Can I do that? Are they right? Are they serious? Like, am I really not going to be able to do this? Am I really that big of a loser? Am I really not going to be a bodybuilder? Can I really not make a fat burner with a prop blend in it? And next thing you fucking know, as soon as that question sparks, you go, fuck that. Of course I can. There's no fucking doubt in my mind I can. Fuck you, fuck the horse you rode in on, and that fucking horse's mother. I'm fucking going after this shit, fucking everything I got right now. Here we go. And you fucking put your head down, you fucking line up, and you just fucking move forward. And in the end, the bottom line is, you are going to get further using you against you and then using you against the world, or just using you against the world right away. But that you against the world has to be in there. You have to be able to compare yourself to someone to figure out where the measuring point is, where the measuring stick is, where the bar is. Once you figure out where that fucking bar is, now you have something to fucking shoot beyond. But that bar, that's an external source. You've never done it before, so you don't know where that fucking bar is, and you're trying to reach a bar that you don't know what it is. Take a second, look externally, see what the fuck is out there, find the bar, and then fucking shoot past that. BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com's blog. It's the fourth macro bicep, and we are out.